Hi everybody, good morning. So it's a Monday today. So at this point, it's been a week that I've been here and I have been enjoying the very nice slow pace that's going on. So I'm just here in Milanay right now and I'm just taking my time slowly because there's nothing really much that I'm going to be doing while I'm here. I have just had breakfast and I'm just finishing this cup of coffee that I have here on my mug, and I'm actually trying out a new coffee. Well, it's not practically new, but I've had them before, but because friends have been giving me a lot of coffee, I have stopped taking this. But this is actually my favorite. So it's called Siete Baracos coffee. So this is a Filipino brand, and it actually has a mix of Batangas Baraco. So Baraco is like our version of Liberica with some Arabica beans, and I actually love the taste of this. It has a very nice smoky quality to it, very nutty and also a little bit chocolatey at the same time, and it doesn't taste acidic at all. I don't taste any sourness in it. I super love this, and this is not for sale here in the island of Marinduque, so I actually had to order this online and I had to have it delivered here. So I stocked up on this. So this is still unopened, so I have one currently in a preservative jar today. So I'm so happy with that because I have been looking for amazing coffee here in the island, but unfortunately they have been no deliveries in the wet market as of this moment. Okay, so the weekend was actually a little bit uneventful for me, except for the fact that we had a strange weather condition wherein we had a low pressure area that passed by over the island, and the rains was very, very strong, and the winds were very strong, that I said to myself, are you sure that this is just a low pressure area, because this really feels like a storm. So yeah, and the weather only improved yesterday, I think around the afternoon. So what I did is I spent some time cleaning the house, mopping the floors, getting rid of all of the dust and the sand and the mud that came in, mud from the paws of the dogs, because the dogs roam freely here in the house. So there are some patches of land here in the area wherein it's muddy. So I had to mop that from the floor yesterday afternoon. And this morning, I think you saw in the intro, I put some of my pillows and my foam under the sun, because unfortunately one of my dogs, one of my oldest, Chio, let me go get him. Okay, so this is Chio, my dachshund. So this one is 13 years old, and I've actually been looking for him all morning, and I think he escaped the house and went walking on the beach. So the property is actually fenced, but dogs just find a way of destroying the fence and going under all of the blockage that we create here, and they just really roam around. So anyway, I digress. So the main reason why I had to put all of my pillows, most especially my foam, my bed foam, under the sun is because he peed in bed last night. So I think this is very common when you have a senior dog with you, that sometimes they get a little bit incontinent and they can't seem to control their pee anymore, and his sight is also going bad. So I think if he wants to pee in the middle of the night or early in the morning, because he can't see clearly or he can't see much at all, so I think that's why he just refuses to get out of bed. So he just pees wherever. And apparently my foster kid Jan, who was here with my partner for a few weeks, has told me that it has also happened that my dog Chio would actually pee on his bed sometimes at night. So that it's a little bit alarming for me, because that just means that my dog no longer has control of his urges. So I think I have to bring Chio to the vet to have him checked out, because I just want to see his overall condition. But so far he's still very active. He still runs around, he barks, he just sleeps a lot now, but he's doing good. Now, since we're in the topic of talking about dogs, as I've said in our vlog a few weeks ago, my other senior dog, my Jack Russell Terrier, Gus, also had to be rushed to the vet. And he actually already had his blood works done, which we did last Friday, and I'm so happy to inform you guys that he is clear. So let me go get Gus and in a moment. Alright, so here's Gus, my Jack Russell Terrier, my adopted baby. Look at him, he's so cute, isn't he? Yeah, he's also 13, the same age as Chio. So we had to rush him to the vet and to have blood works done. And he was actually such a good boy at the vet. He didn't cry at all or didn't wiggle when they stuck a needle in his arm here, which they shaved off, the fur. And the reason why he had some blood works done is because he's been having this very terrible cough, and the vet kind of thought that he was having some symptoms of heartworm, and that was really very it was terrible news and such sad news, because we all know what happens when a dog gets heartworm. They pass on. So anyway, so we had this blood works done, and I was actually able to see the vet checking out his blood and things like that, and they even did a rapid test if he's positive for any, and luckily enough he is negative for heartworm. So that actually is a relief, but it seems that my dog Gus just has a bad case of allergy. That's why he's really coughing so bad. It really wakes me up in the middle of the night. And they actually gave him some allergy medications, and so far it's actually working quite well. He's not coughing much anymore, and he's kind of good. Although even if he's a senior dog, he has the same personality as Chio. They're always running around, they're barking, and they act like they're puppies, and they also act like they're big giant dogs. Yeah, so that's one of the good news that we have stumbled upon over the weekend. So I am currently alone here in my home in the province right now. My partner had to go home to the city because he had some work obligations to tend to. So I'm gonna be here with all of my fur babies, and all the jobs that I'm gonna be doing right now is doing it remotely. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you go at this point, and then I'm gonna come back a little bit later in the afternoon. Okay. Hey guys, so I'm back. So just after I've pressed on the stop record button on my phone, a delivery came in, and it's actually these 3 orders that I placed last week. I think it was a Thursday or a Wednesday, I can't remember. Now all of these I actually purchased for the use of my motorcycle or scooter, to name it aptly. So I do have a scooter. It's a Yamaha Fazio, and that's actually the mode of transportation that my partner and I use when we are here, especially if we don't have the car. So the first thing that I'm opening right now and showing you guys is a mobile phone holder, which I am going to install on the side mirror of the scooter. And the main reason why is because sometimes if we're going from one location to another here on the island, we don't know where it is, we actually need GPS, and at least having a phone holder just makes everything very easy and accessible. So this actually rotates, which I love that. So 360, so at least I can adjust it. Amazing. And the other thing that I purchased is also this thing called a balaclava, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. So it's just a mask that you put on over your head, like so. So at least this just ensures that you don't get sunburned while you're driving on the motorcycle. I love this. I have one also with me, but I don't like the fit of it, and it's not as easy as this one. And I can just put my shades on, and this also really keeps me from transferring my sweat on my head into my helmet. If I don't have any covering on my head, it's really gonna stink up the helmet, and I would really need to have to wash my helmet more often than necessary. Okay, all right, so the other one that I have here, so this one is like a metal wrap for the motorcycle. So let me just open this first. Okay, so it's actually this thing. So this is like a external what do you call this, like bracket that you will attach at the back of the scooter. And this portion here is actually what will hold the top box, and the top box is actually this one here. Okay, so let me open the top box. There's a thing in my face. Okay, so this, my friends, is the top box that will go at the very back of the bracket here. And the main reason why I decided to purchase this is because it's actually quite difficult to do the groceries with a scooter because you don't have any storage area for the groceries. So at least with this, like, you know, you can just open it from the back. If I could open it, do I have a keys here? Yeah, so just going to open it. Fantastic. Opens quite smoothly and very easily. And you open it here, and I actually have a space here to put, like, you know, my groceries. And for sure I can also put my helmet here so that I don't have to carry it around with me, like, you know, when I park somewhere, which is fantastic. And I think with the size of this, so I have a 45-liter top box here. So I think, like, you know, 2 helmets will actually fit here side by side. So if my partner and I are going to be, like, you know, going out to town together and we're going to be using the scooter, at least we can both keep our helmets inside here. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have a very busy afternoon installing this. I have to call my handyman first if he's here because I need some tools to install this. So while he's not here, I'm just gonna check out my emails and see what I need to do this morning. Okay. Hey you guys, so do you think that I was able to do some work after receiving all of those delivery items yesterday for my scooter? Well, the answer is actually no. So as soon as I stopped, like, you know, recording or, like, you know, vlogging, I started tinkering with my scooter. So I was actually initially able to install the mobile phone holder here. So I'm very happy with that. Now, once I was, like, you know, starting to tinker with the body of the Yamaha Fazio here, I realized that I needed one tool to unscrew something, and unfortunately I didn't have that. So what I did is I actually had to skedaddle over to the hardware and pick up what I need to pick up, and then after that I went straight to the gym because it was just within the same area, so I don't have to go back and forth and waste gasoline, if you know what I mean. And then what happened was when I got home yesterday, it was already, like, you know, early in the evening, so it was actually quite dark already and I couldn't record anything, but I was actually able to attach the back bracket here, and I was also able to attach the top box on the scooter, and I'm so proud that I was able to do that because, like, you know, people think that I don't have the, like, you know, tenacity to attach things like that or do anything mechanical because people think that I'm delicate, but I have, like, you know, enough brain power and, like, you know, muscle power to actually do that. So I'm actually very happy that I was able to do this last night. How cool is that? Look, it's so cute. So I was also very happy that I was able to install the top box because it just, like, you know, makes it easier for me to do the grocery when I am here. If there's one thing that happened yesterday, sorry, where's the light? Okay, light's here. Okay, so what happened last night, by the way, when I was, like, you know, tinkering with the scooter, one of the screws fell inside the body and it really drove me nuts because, like, you know, I needed to find that screw. So I spent a very long time just, like, you know, lighting up like the interior of the scooter here, just trying to find it. And then I was just trying to assess where the screw would have fallen, basing off where the position of it was inside the scooter. And what I did is I just tilted the scooter a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, and then I just did it back and forth until the screw actually fell. And I was so happy with that because I was just so scared that the screw might fall into either the turbine of this of the motor, things like that. So I was just very, very relieved. And note to myself, I should not be in it. I should be very patient with these things, and I should do it early in the morning or when there's actual daylight, because doing it at night is actually a little bit difficult. Okay, yeah, so that's what happened. And let me just give you guys one final look of my scooter. So here it is. So let me just turn to the other side because you have much more better lighting here. And that's Tanner, my Pharaoh Hound mix. Tanner, say hi. Say hi to everyone. Okay, yeah, so this is how it looks like now. Okay, very cute. So the body of the scooter is in cream. So I initially wanted to purchase a top box which had a vintage feel to it, which is almost like the color of the body of the scooter, but it turned out to be a little bit expensive. I couldn't afford to pay around $100 for something like that, and I just think that this is a much more good option to buy, because at least it's waterproof, you know what I mean. There's also actually an attachment that I could put on top of this, but it's actually going to entail me to screw over the plastic here, the cover, and I decided not to do it because I think I just want to keep it water free inside the top box. Okay, yeah, so that's what I have been very excited about. So what I'm gonna do now is I have to do some work, and I also have to do some planning because tomorrow I think I need to go to the mainland because the film that I worked on last year is finally showing, and tomorrow is its first day of release, and I want to support it. Now, unfortunately, there is no cinema here on the island, and I would really need to cross the water to watch it. So I think I'm going to be bringing you guys with me tomorrow. So I'm going to let you go right now because I just need to do stuff which I wasn't able to do yesterday, which is actually related to the turning over of our unit in the city, because I have gotten word that we are finally scheduled to be turned over, I believe, by tomorrow. So my partner is going to take care of that. So at least there's something positive that's happening today. Okay. Hi everyone, good afternoon. So I'm just finishing my cup of coffee here. I've also just had some afternoon snacks. I had some leftover pancakes because I made some pancakes this morning, but I made way too much and I forgot that I was alone here. So I had some surplus, which is kind of good because it made me good for the day, if you know what I mean. So just a little bit of some update. As I've said to you guys here, last Tuesday, I was supposed to go to the mainland yesterday, which was a Wednesday. But unfortunately, we have a low pressure kind of an area situation, like a weather situation here, that every time I'd wake up in the morning, for the past 2 days, it would be raining. And I decided not to head to the port because I only have a scooter with me right now, and it's kind of like a bad idea to skedaddle under the rain. So I've actually been checking like the weather forecast for the next few days, and there is an opening in this bad weather, and it says in the weather report that it might be sunny tomorrow. So I'm hoping that when I wake up tomorrow, like very early in the day, I'm gonna be greeted with nice good weather. And the main reason why I have to wake up early is because I have to take one of the earliest boats out of the island. So it's around 6:30 in the morning, because it takes me 3 hours on the water to get to the mainland. So if I leave any later in the day, it's just going to make me stay in the mainland longer, which means that I would catch a later boat here to the island. And because I'm only using a scooter, I don't want to be driving other roads late at night, because the roads here are quite hilly. There are also a lot of curves that I have to pass through, and also I have to be careful because it's been raining for the past few days, so it's also slippery. And I have not driven through the roads to the port yet using the scooter, so that's why basing off of my plans, if everything goes well tomorrow, I have to catch the 4:30 p.m. boat to get back here. So I'll be here by 7 p.m. tomorrow. So hopefully everything goes according to plan tomorrow, and I hope that everything goes well for me. So that's it. And also one other update is that while I was having coffee in the kitchen, I was going through my emails, and I saw that Lisa sent an email, an early access kind of an email to her emeralds. It's part of her loyalty program, her Lisa and Me loyalty program. So if you are part of her emerald tier, which is her highest tier, you'll get early access, first hand information of new releases, things like that. So I read there that she actually is releasing a new eyeshadow palette for the coming summer season, and she's also releasing 3 new lip shades for her Rouge Experience refillable lipstick, and I think that's amazing. So I just watched her video earlier, and I loved how the eyeshadows were swatched on her arm. They look fantastic. And it's also a very interesting color story, if you know what I mean, because she says that it's inspired by the desert and glamour from I think the 70s. So that's why we have some sparkly bits here, and we also have some matte, so just to tie it with the concept and the story. So I think this is actually very pretty. I am actually very interested in getting this. And I think this is just quite a playful color story, very unique also, I do have to say, because we don't get a lot of these greens eyeshadows, and we don't really see a lot of people use green eyeshadows. Well, me anyway, I don't see it on Instagram or on YouTube, but it's actually very, very interesting. And I think the green shades in this palette will also go well with her limited edition release, which was her Betty palette. So I kind of like that. So at least it's interconnected. Okay, very interesting. Look at that. Very pretty. I think the khaki shade is a very interesting shade here. So I'm not gonna blabble much because I really want to get this, and for sure when I do, I'm gonna make a video for it. Okay. Now for her new shades of her Rouge Experience refillable lipsticks, I'm only interested in actually getting one color, and it's the color Toasted. So it has a very nice beige color to it. And the reason why I'm only choosing this is because basing off of the jobs that I might be having in the next few months, I won't have any use for the 2 other shades, in the color Ray and Lily. But I don't know if my mind will change. And let me just put that here now on my cart. Okay. And it seems that I've already had some stuff here on my cart on Lisa's website, which is understandable because I have been planning of getting more products from her. And as you can see here on the side, I actually purchased a lot of her ribbon lipsticks in different formulations because I just want to add them into my kit, and I also want to create a video for her ribbon shades. And I also have the color Society from her Rouge Experience Refill here in my cart. Yeah, so I forgot about that. So I'm not gonna be purchasing this right now because, as I've said, I'm in the verge of moving homes and I don't have, like, you know, my new address yet. So once I have that, I'm for sure going to push through in actually purchasing this. And there's also a free summer tote, by the way, that comes with this order, so that's actually fantastic. And the summer tote that I have here is the camo one. So it has, like, you know, some beigey and green shades as well in the tote, which like really coincides with her new color story for her eyeshadow palette. And by the way, if you are a makeup artist and if you're interested in purchasing Lisa's products, please do apply for her pro program because it's gonna give you a substantial discount, which is actually very helpful to, like, you know, professional makeup artists like me who actually purchase more than one, like, you know, color or, like, you know, product from Lisa. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna let you go at this time, and hopefully tomorrow we will head to the mainland. Hi guys, so I made it to the mainland. I'm now in Lucena and I'm at the mall, and it's called SM City Lucena, and I've already bought tickets, so I'm watching the 11 a.m. run of the film. It's called Only We Know, and I worked on this last year and I actually created the makeup look of the lead male star, Ding Dong Dantes. So I did his makeup there, and I also did his effects makeup, which in I attached his beard. So I'm actually very excited, and I'm also very nervous because I'm gonna see my beard look that I attached on him on the big screen. So I'm hoping it looks good today. Okay, yeah, so it's a little bit noisy right now, so I'm gonna let you guys go because I'm scared I might get copyrighted, and I'm gonna get back with you guys a little bit later. Okay, so I've already finished watching the film and I have a few hours to kill before I hop on the boat. So I'm just gonna go around the mall here, check things out, and I actually saw that the SM Appliance Center is here, and if you remember from my vlog last week, I was actually doing some e-window shopping for new appliances for my unit in the city. So I'm just gonna go inside and check out if they have, like, you know, the appliances that I was looking at online last week, so that I can just have a physical idea of what they actually look like. Hey, alright, so I'm now back in the boat to head back home. So it's gonna be another 3 hours for me. So it was a very long day, but I was so happy with the film. I was very happy with the work that I'd done. Although, like, you know, I'm very self-deprecating sometimes, but, like, you know, I should just be appreciative of what I was able to do for this film. I hope that this film is going to be a success, and I hope that this film will also resonate to a lot of the viewers, because it's released here all over the country right now, so I'm very, very happy with that. yeah, so that's it for me today, and I think I'm gonna close out this vlog here because I think this vlog is gonna be too long if I continue vlogging when I get home. So I'm actually very excited, and I'm so glad that when I get to Marinduque later in the island, I think I still have a little bit of some sunlight, which is great because again I'm just gonna be on my scooter when I pick it up at the parking area and drive it home later. Alright, so that's it for me today. I'm gonna let you guys go now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you have a good day wherever you are. Bye!